Well, we're still in Mark chapter 12, this series of questions that Jesus is bombarded with. And there'll always be questions about Christianity. And we need to have a handle on how to answer them. Remember, first of all, the chief priests come with the question, what authority do you have to do the things that you are doing and claim the things that you claim? And Jesus answers them. And then latterly we've seen that the Pharisees combined with the Herodians, the religious formalists combined with the hedonists, and ask him that question, and Jesus answers them, and my enemy's enemy is my friend. And now today we see another group who come with a question. The Sadducees. Now it's important to understand who they were. They believed very little. They believed in the here and now. They were religious of a type. They believed the first 5 books of the Bible and nothing more. They didn't believe in the resurrection. They didn't believe in God intervening in miraculous ways here and now. And there are many Sadducees around today. They'll have a moral code, but they don't believe in miracles. They don't believe in the resurrection. They might well call themselves Christian, but they don't believe very much at all. And to pour scorn on the truth of the resurrection, they come to Jesus Christ with an absurd question. There are 7 brothers, and the first one marries a wife, and he dies without having children. So the next brother marries her, and he dies without having children. And the next brother marries her, and he dies without having children, and so on and so on. I'd have been very wary of marrying this woman if I were one of the brothers lower down the list. And here's the punchline from the Sadducees. At the resurrection, whose wife is she, since they all had her? See, in the first 5 books, which they believed in, it was said that if a brother died without producing offspring, then the next brother should marry her to produce offspring for his brother. So that was the case, but they want to pour scorn on the resurrection. Now, we'll spend a little bit of time on this, so just a little briefly this morning. Jesus says, of course, these wonderful words, "Are you not mistaken because you do not know the scriptures or the power of God?" There's the baseline. You don't know the scriptures and you don't know the power of God. But first of all, just this morning, very briefly, let us see the absurd questions that are sometimes often put to Christians, particularly in areas of debate. You get into discussion with somebody who is not a true believer, and the most absurd questions can come out. Notice Jesus doesn't answer the question directly, but he brings out great truth. Let's not get drawn into mindless, silly debate, but let's always fight the battle on the main front. And the main front is Jesus and the resurrection. I've noticed in debates often with men who God has raised up to debate, people like Ravi Zechariah, who's now with the Lord, and John Lennox. And in debating with particularly atheists, they bring the battle back to fundamental truths. Who is Jesus? And did he rise from the dead? The resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. And that's where the battle ought to be fought, not in the darkness, but in the light. What authority? Destroy this temple and I will raise it again. And he spoke about his own resurrection. And this is the central truth that we need to know and fight on. More about the answer that Jesus gives to the Sadducees tomorrow, but let this be settled in our minds. Let's not get led up blind alleys and silly debates. Let us declare the truth of Jesus and the resurrection and the need for repentance towards God and faith in Jesus Christ.